This is New England Soccer Weekly with Tom Quinlan, Nick Giuliano, and Mike DeSilva on 790 The Score.
Hi, boys and girls. Well, we are back to regularly scheduled programming here.
Which camera do we look at?
I have no idea.
Two cameras now. Shout
Why
out to
did you
Steve.
do this?
What was
you know
that?
what it is? Is it and I've noticed that the lighting's different. Is it because you're working with a national star now?
Well, here we go.
The lighting might not be different.
Gotta play
The
into the heel
sunglasses
roll.
might look different through the lights.
No, it looks fantastic.
I think it looks great.
We have a very valuable source here in our friend Steve. Right. Steve helps us out with a lot of promotion stuff.
You
And he's
said
also a
national
production-
talent. You can't like silence your phone.
He's
Well,
a
I mean, I'm
he's a
busy all day
production
now, you know?
expert.
I mean-
So I said, let's get 2 shots. We want to continue to bump up the professionalism in here. You're doing national radio spots now and podcasts, so I figured we got to make our star look good.
Yeah. Thank you very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
I really enjoyed being on Hercules Gomez's podcast. By the way, Mike, Nick, guys, how are you?
Thank you for
Thank you. We're here.
Thank you for having us be a part of the show.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Still
Steve
here.
Cunningham, our new, I guess, technical director of the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We made that hire
Well,
today.
we have to offer him something, but yeah, he's here.
Yeah,
He's
maybe a
helping
hot
us
dog.
out. Yeah.
So yeah, Hercules Gomez, new friend of the show, definitely coming on in the future. Very cool to be on his podcast yesterday. And definitely go check out the Vamos podcast on the Men in Blazers network, which is just a wild thing to say because most people are probably like, don't understand how I ended up there. Even I don't understand how I ended up there.
Well, he explained it pretty well.
Yeah.
You shot your shot and it worked.
But I asked him to come on our show, and he just turned it around on me, and I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Like, I
That's
mean,
how a professional does it.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I would always pump myself up, but at the end of the day, like, do I belong on Hercules Gomez?
Yeah, why not?
Why not is right.
Well,
We
yeah.
we do a lot of
so-
hard work. You put your name
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
we
You're
definitely-
involved.
yeah,
You're
we
involved
grind
in the
out this,
headlines and in the conversation online, and people see that. So you got to give yourself some credit, man.
So it was very cool to be able to do that.
He's very outspoken on social media. You are as well. It's like 2 peas in a pod.
We were two
meant-
peas in a pod.
It
It
is.
was very nice.
Meant to be.
Like, definitely just he wasn't afraid to get into a lot of things, which we'll talk about here because it all relates back to what we're talking about. But I don't know how we start this week. Do we start with 3 weeks into the investigation? No answers. Do we talk about the game against Montreal this weekend because both of these teams have not played in a very long time? Do you talk about George Petrovic? Do you talk about Gustavo Bo?
I think we talk about all of them.
No
Yeah.
kidding, we talk about
Oh,
all of them.
okay.
Where do we start? Like, which
it's your-
bad news do you want to start with?
I mean, it's your show. Where would you like to start?
First off, I couldn't get that in. Like, we were just going back and forth. Like, I was locked in. Should I have thought to bring up Mike DeSilva and Nick Giuliano? I should.
No, that's not
yes.
what we're saying. We're just saying this is your show. So where do we start?
But it's not just my show; it's our show.
Okay.
Like, we do
All
this
right.
all together.
Very good.
Okay.
He didn't. For what it's worth, I should have promoted at the end of the show. I did not say my co-host Nick Giuliano.
No,
This is like in wrestling when like a faction is formed, everything's going good for a
Yeah,
while, and
we
then
got
one of the member of the faction
We
gets
got
like a
it.
title run, and then they forget about like the tag teams and the guys that kind
It
of
happened very quickly too.
Yeah, rise to the top. So Vince gave you a shot, and you went and you grabbed the brass.
Shout
ring,
out to
Tommy.
you. Shout out to you.
Marty DeSilva.
Yes, thank you very much, Marty. Yes, that's exactly. You're gonna put me through the barbershop window next. Is that what's gonna happen?
Is it?
Great. That's a wrestling
I know.
reference.
I actually don't get it. I'm very confused.
And if Tommy expected us to
Or-
not give him
or-
stuff, then he
or-
doesn't know us very well.
Seth Quinlan.
Seth Quinlan. That's right, with the chair to the back, because this is the Shield.
Right.
Very good. Wrestling fans understand what we're talking about. The rest of you probably very confused.
Nick, no idea.
No clue.
But all right, so let's start with the recent news then. Gustavo Bo.
Yes.
It's August, so Gustavo Bo must be injured.
It's tale as old as time at this point.
And again, out of nowhere, and then he's out of the country.
But like for 4
and-
weeks?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
so it's pretty
shout out
serious.
to Richie, keeping us informed. That's probably way more information we would have got than if it was Bruce telling us that.
Yeah, which is another.
But 4 weeks, what is he doing out of the country for 4
for a
weeks?
month.
Well, I guess you go see your specialist. Like Carlos did that when Carlos got
Yeah, I
injured
guess
back
you're
in
right.
2020.
So this again,
we're Spain.
we're doing the speculation game. Did this happen in practice because they had 3 weeks off?
I don't know.
and
It
then
seems
it's
like it
just
would
out
happen
of
during the
nowhere?
Leagues Cup at some point because like they limited. He didn't play the
didn't play
game
the last
against
game.
Querétaro.
True. So how long has he been over there?
He might be over there longer than we know, but he's they say he's going to be there for the rest of the month. So
Yeah.
That's
it's not a great
It's
sign.
tough.
a lot of
You need hopefully. The good thing is that I still believe in one Robert Wood. Bobby Wood.
Okay.
I still think
I didn't expect you to go there, but okay.
What? I mean, I think he was a big part of the reason why
A good start to the season.
you had a good start to the season because Gustavo wasn't there, and it took Gustavo a while to get in there. And Bobby's won you games. And I think this time off was needed for somebody like Bobby. So now you get out of the Leagues Cup break, you go back to that 2-striker formation with him and Vrioni.
Oh boy.
And
Why?
No.
Why?
I should
No,
say
why?
why.
Why?
I should say why. I just I gotta keep to the.
I know
brand.
your people.
You gotta stay
have
to
your
your brand.
Your
You
guys.
got to
No,
the
it's
brand.
We get it.
That's
It's fine.
I'm surprised there wasn't a shot in Herc's podcast. I was waiting for that. That didn't happen.
I'm proud of you.
I have a little bit of a semi-different view on Vrioni. Remind me to get back to it.
No, we're good. But go ahead.
No, I do want to hear that.
That wasn't on the dot. That wasn't on. Oh,
I know,
no.
I need-
Wait, we'll remind you. You're right. It is.
Yeah,
your
yeah,
show.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's cool. That's cool.
Thank you very much.
Oh man, here we go.
Ed Giuliano. Ed McMahon.
Oh yes.
Is that a
Giuliano,
good or a
yeah,
bad
well,
one?
not so
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Ed McMahon. He was Johnny Carson's sidekick.
Oh, that's not. No.
Yeah, I knew you
That
wouldn't
is
like that.
not.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that at all.
We're like Questlove and the Roots of a Jimmy Fallon over
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
A lot of references we can go with this, but
I like that one a little better.
Yeah, your thoughts on
I am
Bobby
not,
Wood,
I am
though.
not Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson. Let's make that very clear.
I could be
Get more offended, will you?
I could be a Robin and Batman. I don't care. But we want to hear your take on Bobby Wood.
Yes.
No, I think you got to go back to that. You go back to that 2-striker formation. Carlos, you would imagine, hopefully is healthy here coming into the new part of the season. Chancali out on the left. Like, I still think you have a really good attack. We'll see what Chancali can provide. I think it's helpful.
It's still, but it's a lot of new pieces still again. So you have to see how these gel together.
Yeah, but I kind of have confidence that they've pretty much done relatively well when it comes to scouting guys and bringing guys in here.
I would say so.
Especially this current season and into the off season, they've done really well.
And they've done really well in South America. I think I can't think of too many guys that they've gotten in from South America that haven't really panned out.
It's usually the guys that are from Europe that have kind of one in particular, the couple that took a little bit longer, Buxa and Vrioni, and then some domestic players we know, and your good friend now Omar. Didn't necessarily work out, but we're gonna limit our Omar takes because he's now a friend of the show.
Well, Omar was in Europe, though, really.
No, I said domestic. Like he was who's here. in the MLS.
I mean, just again, it's going to take these players. It's a little bit of time to gel, and especially with this time off. I mean, practice is great. You get to know things, but it's the game minutes that matter. So I think this game is going to be interesting to watch, just to see. Montreal just came off a very good win again against Toronto, but it was a 3-2 win where they actually looked pretty good. So it'll be an interesting spot this Saturday.
What you lose in Gustavo is obviously his ability to create his own chances, right? Because when he's at his best, he's one of the better strikers or forwards in the league of creating his own chance and then finishing, right? We know he can strike the ball really well. Bobby Wood, you lose that in Bobby Wood.
Yeah.
Because he's not so much going to be taking guys on one-on-one, but what he has shown us is that he can make the correct runs, he can be in the correct position, and he does finish his chances. So that is at least a positive. It's not like you're just spinning the wheel and throwing somebody out there. You're getting a veteran who has already shown it for you on this team that he can do that. So it's not a panic button move yet.
No.
And it's gonna and if we're looking on the most positive perspective here, you get Gustavo back before the end of the season, and then he's with you going into the playoffs. So really what you got to do is have your bench, which we have been praising so far this season, step up and get you to that point.
Does Gustavo really make or break, you winning an MLS Cup at this point? If he's there, does it,
Yeah, I mean,
he makes it easier.
He makes it easier, but it's like, can you still do it without him?
I think they can still do it without him. Honestly, I do.
Well, we'll see how these two work together because there hasn't been a lot of Bobby Wood and Giacomo Vrioni on the field together. I think we will
had their moments though.
A long period of time, and
Sure.
I think that it's going to be important, and we'll see the lineup that they do have two strikers because Vrioni is more mobile, and if he has more of if the defense has a focal point with Wood there as well, that'll help them both get a little more open. But that's where I think Gustavo Bo obviously elevates your offense just because he is more of a threat, and so the defense is going to be watching him more than they would Bobby Wood, and that gives Vrioni more of an opportunity to get open.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what this midfield looks like, right?
Also
you're
true.
asking, what was the guy?
Well, when Kessler comes back, I really want to see what they do with this team because
I don't think I think Andrew goes to the bench. Well, actually,
He could go
you don't
right.
know.
They could go with 3 in the back.
Or
you know?
they could put. He's played right back
they've
before.
played him in the bye position before.
They could do Farrell, Romney, Kessler, and Jones. That's possible.
It is possible. I think it depends on what Ryan Spalding does, right? Does Ryan Spalding play himself out of a position that he's not the everyday? Listen. I think you're right. I think actually Farrell probably does make.
He
a lot
probably
of sense
does.
at right
Makes
back.
the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to stick with your consistent guys that have
The
been
more
there,
I think about it, it's the right solution.
yeah. Or I mean, I'm not throwing out the possibility that they run 3 center backs and then Jones and whoever else gets to play higher on the outside. They track back a little bit more, but they get to really getting involved. And then you have Harks and Polster playing in front of them. It gives you a few different looks that we haven't been able to see because Kessler hasn't been healthy the majority of the season.
And something that obviously we were and you were very critical of in the past with depth. There's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different
They definitely
ways
have more depth this year than they did last year.
which is what you need at the end of August going into September because there's still injuries. We just had another one. I watched back the replay of this first game these two played, the 4-0 win. It was April 19th at Gillette Stadium.
Take away anything from that game?
No, that's not. But my point is that on the field was Henry Kessler. On the field was Dylan Barrero, who scored a sick goal. This team is completely different now in August, and that just makes my overall point that in April and in August, your team is going to look different. Do you have enough to get to the end of October? I think this team does.
It feels like they're deeper than they were in 2021 too. Like
Sure.
you knew what the starting lineup was, and it was pretty much solidified by this point.
Yep.
But then, you really didn't know what they had ammunition-wise if they had to go to the bench. Now, when you think about it, they have more options for
Definitely.
a deeper playoff run. So that's why I say, if you even lose Gustavo, does it really make or break this team? I don't think so.
What
It
we've
makes a
seen,
difference,
Yeah,
yeah.
what we've seen from him on the field when healthy. Again, you talk about the triangle. You hear me talk about it all the time up top, Mike. They're different when
It's
those three
different,
are on
yeah.
the field. Not to take away when Bobby Wood's out there tomorrow night. It could be serviceable. It could
I'm
work out just
confident in
fine.
Bobby Wood.
I think so too.
This isn't like
No.
a shot at Bobby Wood.
Not at all.
At all. He is somebody that is serviceable. He's a veteran. He's shown it for you.
Effort's there.
The effort's there.
Yep.
And he's a smart striker.
I think
I think he'll be fine.
When Tom talked about the two of them playing on the field, them meaning Wood and Veroni, what I saw a lot, because they haven't played together, is a lot of the same runs, a lot of the same
Yes.
space. So hopefully that's something that was worked out in practice where they can play off each other more than against each other.
Well, hopefully now, depending on how long this Bo injury has been known by the team, that's something they have been working out in practice because that's simply just communication and getting a feel for the guy you're working with. It's like doing a show. Sometimes you have two great personalities that just don't mesh well.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have two strikers who are individually talented, but maybe they just don't have it together. I do think that we haven't seen enough of them doing that. So give them an opportunity to work on it in training, build that trust, build that chemistry with themselves, and it could end up being really good.
And that's
until Bo's back.
that's my point for tomorrow night too. Are the Revolution better than CF Montreal? Yes. Should they probably win tomorrow night? Yes. But there are some new pieces in. You still Ian Harks, who I'm looking at right now on the billboard. He's still relatively new. You're talking about.
I'm a big Ian Harks guy now.
So am I. Oh, you want to say why?
No.
Okay. So let's move on from that.
We got to get Ian Harks on the show.
We'll
Yes.
get that. That's what I meant. We'll get Ian Harks on the show. But but Chankowski's coming in. There's going to be a different 11 guys on the field, possibly all 11, right?
Yeah.
Different.
I meant like the last.
Oh, yeah,
like
it's a
10,
different
but
flow.
the last guy.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like
Yeah.
the plus one might be
The
different.
11th.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
11th man.
Who just showed up in London today?
Oh, good for him. Which,
See
by
that
the way,
segue?
Yeah, that's a great segue.
Thank you.
And shout out to Georgie. Hey.
Hey.
Thank
No,
you.
Go. Good. See you.
No,
Goodbye.
and Tom,
Adios.
we have
Au
different.
revoir.
No.
You know the Kamala Harris gif where she's just waving
Yes.
with the binoculars?
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I
Inherit that mess at Chelsea.
yes, it is.
They're still going to suck in January.
Come on, Tommy.
You would have held out.
Tom.
And guess what? You know what? Good. Take the money and run, kiddo. Bye.
First of all, a lot of that is not even his choice. I think
I don't know. I think he held out.
No.
And after the Atlas win, he lost that standoff with the club. and he came back.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we can think whatever we want, right? And we have our own personal interests.
I have my own personal opinion on it.
Right,
Listen,
no,
I
of
could be
course.
completely wrong on the story at the end of the day. I think he wanted out of here, and I think Bruce would have allowed it, and they did it because Bruce isn't here. But just go ahead.
I think that if you are, let's say you're a part of a team, right, and things are going well and you're making a name for yourself, and somebody offers you, 10 times what you're making, you're going to turn
about
that down.
17 times?
And you're going to the number one.
How about 17?
Literally
times?
17 times, or
Yeah.
you're going to the number one team, or not number one team, but
Number
number one
one
league
league, yes.
in the world. I mean, he could be a starter there. Chelsea is a mess. He's actually going there at the right time because he's going to look like a star.
okay, it's not well.
And we've talked about this all
Guess
the
what?
time
You,
too.
as a
you
team-
you ask any of those players on that roster.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to MLS, it's gotten so much better.
It has
we talk about this all the time. That's the league you want to play in.
It's a league that's
That
26 years
is
old
where
compared to one that's
you go.
100 years old. You cannot compare the two. The Premier League, to this day, until Saudis buy everybody in the world, is the number one league in the world, and Georgi Petrovic is going to a club which is spending over $1 billion. I mean, and they still suck. I'm a Chelsea supporter. I can say that. They're terrible. And I still think that the right move was made, even for the Revolution. Because now look at what the Revs did. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? You invest in players. You hope they come here and succeed for you, and then you profit off of them. You make a
and
make
this
a
is
profit
something
off
that
of
you
them,
have in
and
the
they move
past.
on.
You in the past have heralded this club for doing with what they did with Tejan Buchanan, what they did with Matt Turner, what
And
they
that
did
didn't
with
work
Buxa,
out.
and now what they've done with Georgi Petrovic. And this return, Tom, is bigger than
It's
it's
the
an
fifth-
astronomical
Georgi
return.
Petrovic's sale from the Revolution is the 5th largest sale in MLS history.
That's why this is an interesting take. I want to hear more from you because
From a guy who,
this
by
is
the way-
this is a Tom Quinlan softball.
He's
This
only
is
been
right
in the
down
league one
middle.
year. Petrovic has only been in the league as a starter for over a year.
I'm stunned to see what you're writing on social media. I'm stunned to see what you said with Hercules Gomez. It's because it's exact opposite of what you've done the 3 years we've been on the show, but that also doesn't surprise me because this is what he does.
Yeah, and I also saw this morning on Twitter or X, Taylor Twumman responding to a hashtag any Revs fan or part of the community, Corey. He mentioned that he now has
Why
a
are you
different
going after the
perspective.
low-hanging fruit, Taylor? I've been tweeting at you. You don't respond to me. Come on.
Well, Taylor, I'm also saying that I'm glad that you're taking the grown-up, understanding side of the deal, and that it's not always just about what you're doing right now. Sometimes you have to make the best business decision for your club long term.
Which again, Tom, thank you for everyone subscribing and watching now on YouTube. If you go back years on this show, that has been your position about things. Carry the forever.
Yeah, forever.
And now, so what's the difference with this one?
All right, so you fill
you
us in
ready?
on your take on Georgie.
we ready?
Yes, we're ready. Okay. I love this.
What's more important, trophies or money?
Depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you too.
Well,
I mean,
for
me,
us,
we,
trophies.
we want to see them
always.
win. We want to see the trophies.
Yes.
Always.
Okay.
We feel that way about all of our sports teams. We're not spending the money.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making the money.
Okay. You brought up Buxa, Tejan, and Turner. What's the biggest difference in the Petrovic deal and the Turner, Tejan, and Buxa deal?
Well, Turner was gone.
Gone.
Turner. That was the off season for the Premier League and he left when they started back up again. So you can't compare Turner. And don't keep in mind, Turner spent the first month injured from a U.S. national team, whatever the hell that incident was.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
We're not going to go back to it. And Tejan Buchanan clearly it didn't work out. That loan deal, it was a disaster at the end because Tejan disappeared. He did too much. He
scored the game-tying goal
He
in
did.
the Eastern Conference playoffs.
That aside,
He did. No, he had a moment.
Yep.
Okay, but for the most part, we've all agreed on the show that Tejan Buchanan's loan, it seemed like he checked out a little bit before he took off to Belgium. Okay? I don't think Petrovic is the same player. I think Petrovic, if he stays for the rest of the season.
Can I finish?
Yes, he's still the best goalie in the league, for the record.
yes. We're not saying that.
Bruce was able to keep those teams at bay. All those guys knew that they wanted to get the hell out of here. Buxa wanted back in Europe. We all knew it. We all knew Turner was destined for England. And it was probably could have happened with any other team. It would have happened sooner than later. We all knew Tejan was destined for Europe. Bruce wants to win a title, and he was able to negotiate and just expertly so, the way to keep those guys here while also keeping those teams in the mix. Bruce is out. There's no future I see him coming back.
It's starting to feel like it's not going to happen, yeah.
This was a decision made by Kurt Analfo and Brian Bolello.
Okay.
And I don't believe in my heart of hearts, this isn't a bit. This isn't because I'm Tommy Takes. This is as real as
And
it
we
gets.
have a second shot for this right here, too. This is beautiful.
This is the first time I've actually taken off these sunglasses since I've been.
So your eyes are
You
adjusting
might
to
want
all
to
the
put them
lights.
back on. You might want to put them back on. There you go.
No, leave them off. This is the best.
Bruce wouldn't have done this. Like, what was I saying before I started gazing into your eyes?
Yeah, I know.
Got a little
You got lost in translation. You're saying that this
My
was a
new
deal
eyes,
done
that's
by
what
Bolello.
happens.
This is a
wasn't.
deal done by Bolello and Kurt because Bruce is out, and you have to do what's best for the club going forward into the future. And in their eyes, what's best for the club going into the future is cashing in on a player like that now.
Yes.
If Bruce was here, like I said,
Opinion.
an opinion.
'Cause we can't speak for him.
Here's a fact. Bruce is on administrative leave.
Right.
So there's no way Kurt and Bolello are consulting at all with Bruce. There's no way that could be happening.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. He was put on administrative leave. If you're put in my mind, if you're put on administrative leave, you're out. Like you're
Yeah, in a perfect world, yes.
In a perfect
even
world-
in HR world, like that doesn't sound like somebody that's still able to operate within the confines.
There's backdoor ways around it. There's backdoor ways around it for
You
sure.
have a law firm involved right now. That's
Most
one of the
likely
top
not.
law firms in the entire country, and it handles all of the top sports, or some of the top sports law cases anywhere in the country. Park Hour and Rose, I think the name is.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, produced some of their past lawyers are David Stern and Gary Bettman. So that's the type of law firm that you're dealing with.
Commish. R.I.P. David
So
Stern.
there's no way that Bruce was involved in this.
Yeah.
So they're seeing the future, and Bruce is out, right? And they're cashing in now, and they're trying to build up the value, all their transfer value. And I think they would have had to have also dealt with Petro, where Bruce he's a player's coach.
That's the part
And
that
I think
if
he
I'm
would
going to
have been
buy
able
into,
to convince
yes.
Petro to come back.
If I'm buying into your side of it, that is one thing that I think you have is that Bruce may have been able to, as a guy who brought him in, been able to convince him to stay and or not hold out like we kind of saw with the Nottingham Forest deal, even though it never came out that that's why he sat out and didn't show up to practice, but it just happened to be coincidence that they didn't accept a $8 million euro bid for him to go to Nottingham.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
that's what
then
it was.
2 weeks later, of course it was. And 2 weeks later, the bid doubles and he goes to Chelsea,
Yeah.
where he could easily be a starter within a month, if not sooner.
Okay, but you just said before, Chelsea sucks, right? So what's going to change between now?
Well, no, but here's the thing, Tom.
What would change between now and January?
Do you realize-
what would change between now and January?
But maybe
Chelsea going to be
the
just as
price.
desperate?
Maybe
Tom,
the price.
Now, let me give you another
Do you think
perspective.
it's going to go down?
Maybe.
Tommy, let me give you another perspective right here, okay? This is just, we're just spitballing here. Now,
That's unhealthy.
well, we're wearing masks. Just kidding, we're not.
Pop Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Damn it, Steve. I love we have a live audience now. This is the best. Thank you. Steve, thank you. We have, if you are a budding star playing in let's say you're playing in Liechtenstein, right? And you're playing in Europe, and you're seeing these guys come overseas to play New England Revolution, and within a year or two, they're being sold off to Europe. Does the Georgi Petrovic deal of 16 million euros to Chelsea, a top name in the world, not a club right now, does that raise the prospect of wanting to go play there, or does it not? Nick?
Yes.
So
Tom?
what? So
Tom?
deals like
Wait,
this,
Tom?
So deals like this, yes, as a fan, they suck.
They
suck.
Absolutely.
Investments suck. Nobody likes investing money. Nobody likes going to the bank and saying, "Here's 25% of my money, and in 15 years it's going to be worth something. Nobody likes buying a house and paying taxes, but guess what? You get equity. It feels kind of nice.
And you and I have said this too. Yeah, as a fan, absolutely empathize. It's the worst.
It sucks.
But guess what? This happens not only in every
but
sport.
why
This
do you have to
happens
bow
in
down to the
every
European schedule?
This happens in every business, everywhere.
because
it's what it is.
MLS is an opposite schedule.
But you know what? These guys should understand that when they come in here. Sorry. This is something where the only thing that matters right now about this club is winning. You've brought in a lot of money to begin with. You haven't really spent it. And you weren't going to, like, Petrovic is not going to get worse between now and January. Like, you're taking a risk on this
but he
guy.
could get hurt.
Or the price could go. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. He could play amazing. That price
what did you
could go
feel
down.
about Petrovic when the Turner deal was going down?
That's also a good point.
Because
we knew that Turner was on his way out.
I understand that, but we know that Petrovic is on his way out. So what if this other guy they're bringing in?
But we also knew that 2021 was kind of a bridge year. You're in second place in the league right now. You could close in on 5 points, 5 or 6 points on Cincinnati this weekend.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying that.
So, like, why would you want to toss away an opportunity for a home field advantage throughout the playoffs? You might think Supporters Shield might not mean anything, but clearly it does in this league, especially this
historically,
year.
you
We're
might not
going
even
on
want
the
it.
road.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that last
Yeah,
part.
but do you want to? All right, do you want to go into Cincinnati
Oh,
on the road and
if you
and
go back
play
a few weeks
in Cincinnati in the playoffs?
If you go back a few weeks, I mentioned how I'm doing a little reverse psychology on sometimes there's more pressure to be the home team, especially when all season long you never lost or you had a very good winning record there. So that's just my take.
And so far, again, there's still, 10, 12 games left. They've been pretty successful on the road. I think they're 6th best in the league. So
exactly.
You obviously want to play at home, but it's not the end of the world playing on the road either.
I think it's a difficult position to be in.
But you're undefeated in the league on home turf.
Right,
sure.
Tommy, but I don't think losing Petrovic, you are automatically not as good as you were when you had Petrovic. That is a fact. He's the best goalie in the league, and to me, it's not close.
So you're helping out Chelsea.
There's
and
no
you're taking
debate.
the money and running.
You make the money, you build a team,
and you work towards 2024.
You don't work towards. I don't think you're punting this season. I think you still have a chance to do something in this league because we've seen it. We've seen it with.
What's the upside in the immediate future for the Revs in this deal?
The upside is you're profiting $16 million on a deal that you.
How does that help you win a trophy this year?
I don't think it necessarily does.
Okay, so then you're punting on the season.
I don't think so because this isn't like you're losing Carlos Hill, okay? Let's call it what it is. The goalie is in a very important position, and it can make or break a lot of parts of the game, but it does not make or break your season.
Are you losing the best goalie in the league?
Yes.
Right now, yes.
Okay. So you're losing arguably one of the most important players.
But let's just say, I don't know.
Well, that's why he went for what? That's why he came in at $700,000 and left with $17 million. That's exactly why.
Good
you
investment.
also
what do they call that in gambling? ROI, rate of investment. That's pretty good.
Okay, and this club has done very good on gambling on players in the past. There was no reason why you couldn't take that gamble and push towards January. It sucks. This doesn't make the season any easier for them.
It doesn't.
It does not.
And
both of those things can be true.
But what we have seen from this team, right, is they stepped up in that game without him, okay? And they've shown that this isn't a team that from last year. This is not the same team from last year. They can battle back, they can grind out wins, and they can pull themselves together. There's enough talent and there's enough depth on this bench and enough the 10 guys in front of the keeper. I have enough confidence in that team to be in the playoffs, to be a top 4 at least team in the East, and then anything can happen. Some of these teams at the top, they're still fairly new. They still don't have a ton of playoff experience under their belt. So what? You're just gonna give up? I think that you made the best of the situation because there's no telling that if now you turn down a Chelsea deal, who's to say Petrovic even wants to play?
That could also happen.
So your beef is with him. It shouldn't be with the club because remember he already
showed
showed you once.
But that makes him look bad to all the other European clubs.
It doesn't because
absolutely
clearly
why
not
he
enough.
Just got the deal.
So why would you want to make him look bad? Why would you want to have him sit out and then they're like, well, this guy.
Well, he's sitting out on his own volition.
I
He's
understand that,
out.
but that's also affecting
But that
his
makes
value.
him look bad. If the club's
So
saying,
that
hey, we're
affects his
trying to
value.
play him.
So now the Revs are going to go to the end of the season.
But that
with him.
affects his value on his own volition. That's his own doing. That's not their fault.
But they're responsible for him, and they're responsible for the
And
profit.
they're the
they
one
make on
trying
it.
to get the
and
deal
they're
done.
responsible for trying to bring in a trophy.
So Tom, let's say you stop showing up to work because you're not happy with your contract, right? And let's say that you're trying to, make yourself appealing to other markets. What happens? They're going to be like, that guy's not working?
Yeah, because I look like a D-bag.
Right. And if he doesn't play, so does he.
Save that. Save that
So
clip.
does he. No context behind it either.
Please,
Just share that.
just clip that, Steve, and save that.
There you go. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Mark that.
Overall, I think that we just have different opinions on it because
Well, your opinion's wrong.
Well,
do you care about winning a title this year or no?
No, but we do.
We're gonna get
you're
yelled
not
at for
listening
being on
to
other
us.
stations again.
Both again can be true. What we're saying is true. It's the business side of it. And we're saying, you asked us the question, as a fan, you don't want to see it because it makes your team worse right now. Does that mean they're not going to win a cup? I also don't think that's true because we're at the Nick place that you hate. We don't know. Yeah. There's a bunch of players that are coming in right now. We have to see how they gel. One of the things that Taylor Twellman talked about on this show with us, which was true, is Georgi Petrovic really made the back line and those stats look better because of all the saves he made. How is that going to look? The other thing that we saw this year to last year, which is different, the offense. They're scoring more. Does that keep up? So it's almost like a rebirth. This team has had a very good season. Now they have things on and off the field that they're still dealing with. That's why I said to start the show, tomorrow's going to be very interesting. We got to see.
And on top of all that, you're coming off of the League's Cup. A lot of teams haven't played a lot of soccer in the last few weeks, or some played a lot. So you're coming back from a break is never easy.
We've seen this before. 2021. After you won the Supporters Shield,
exactly.
What happened? 3 weeks off.
We saw a different team after the whatever the hell that tournament was, a COVID year. We saw the World Cup affected a lot of European clubs last year. Teams did not look the same when they came back from the World Cup. So any type of long break, or you're playing against teams from Mexico and you're traveling, and
they have a bunch of games on the road. This is on the road, obviously tomorrow night. They're home for 2, and then I think they go back on the road for a couple more. So the schedule is not.
I think it's road heavy on the back.
Yeah,
end.
It's not
yeah, because
easy.
we remember we talking about how they started with a ton of home games.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be an interesting test. Easy. But I don't think I think punting on the season is an overreaction right now. I do.
We'll see in a couple of weeks. We'll see where we. Let's see. It's September.
Is that pun intended? You using that word or no?
What?
Punt?
No.
Punt. Oh, football season's around the corner.
Just like
American football.
Goalie punting.
Yeah. Oh, a goalie punting.
I think you made more. You went.
No, I like that. That was a good one.
Thank you, Mike.
Punting, goalie punt.
That's what I mean.
It works. It works.
It actually really does work.
It works.
It does work, but it's just like
I know what.
Yeah, it worked.
I'm gonna give it a B+.
There you go. That's not bad.
Nah, it's better than that.
And I forgot, by the way, you're right. Montreal did play last week. I said at the start of the show that it's been a month since they've been off.
3-2 win. I watched a lot of it last night. They had a very good first half, and then Toronto. But those two teams aren't like great right now. Bernadeschi scored a couple sick goals for Toronto, but Montreal they looked pretty good for not having played for a
They were
weeks.
really disappointing in the League's Cup because first off they should have won that game against Pumas, and then they absolutely and it killed my parlay one night.
Oh, now there's the truth. I was waiting. There had
Tommy
to be
Gambles.
some tie-in.
But they really dropped the ball. Pun intended.
See?
Against DC United. With that freaking turnover. God.
Well, Tommy, we can't
$800
take the anger of our parlays out on our friends.
What do you? Well, that's all. That's what the show's turned into.
By the way,
it's something's good or bad if Tom hits, and that's all we're doing now.
I hit one over. I hit one of the parlays over the League's Cup, which was great. Messi scored in
that was right. Yeah,
we saw that one.
The Messi
the midfield goal. Didn't you score? Hit one on a midfield goal?
I hit one on the.
Was that before the League's Cup?
That was earlier in the season. That was a plus. I made 800 on that. So
it's like a plus.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's
good
a nice.
night.
That's like
a nice
plus
parlay.
20 something. Yeah.
I want to know. Whatever. We'll
No,
EPL,
I
was gonna start.
I will say, since the EPL started, I've been paying attention to the Premier League so much more this season.
Yeah,
because
sports
the freaking
betting, it makes a big difference, man.
And it's
Bet responsibly.
Bet
Whatever
responsibly.
camera we're looking
1-800
at.
Gambler if you have a problem.
Whatever camera.
but it's hard enough to predict MLS games. The chaos of following a Premier League game,
it's so fun. It's the funnest thing in the world. Responsibly.
Yeah, no, I'm going to lose all
Don't
my
spend
money.
more than you can afford to lose, okay? So I like to think of it as replacing it with, if I don't go out for
if you're not going to go out for drinks, you're going to gamble.
I replace it with that.
Yeah.
It's my fun money, they call that. But
Funny money.
But getting away from that for a second, I want to know, I'm going to ask both of you this question.
Ooh.
Where do we stand around the panic button when it comes to Inter Miami.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Are you hovering over it or are you slamming
No,
it?
no, it's been there.
Oh.
I've hit that panic button. I don't like that term, but I've hit that button weeks ago. They look so good. They're getting better each game. That throwaway game against FC Cincinnati in the Open Cup, which the way it started, it didn't look like they were even. Those 2 assists from Messi.
Ridiculous.
My goodness.
I'm getting so
This
many
team's
texts.
good, Tom. This team's going on a run, Tom.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're getting tired.
They might be.
They might be because it's been
5
a lot of
games
soccer.
in 15 days.
Yes.
Messi didn't have a lot of time off either.
No. They are.
So we'll see. But all that I've seen so far with these, I mean, they look very good.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens this weekend when they go into Red Bull Arena because that's not a bad Red Bulls team.
That's going to be a madhouse.
I think that Red Bulls team is
the ticket sales right now, secondary market.
Messi in New York.
Crazy.
First time ever.
Cuckoo.
Yes.
Not ever, but in MLS.
Yeah, in MLS.
He played there for the Copa America, whatever.
And he was there for a friendly between Brazil and with Argentina and Brazil, which I was actually at, which was unbelievable. One of the best.
The environment is just.
It's going to be. I mean,
It's going to be wild.
You're not going to be able to get. You're not going to be able to get around Harrison, New Jersey.
You're talking about the greatest player, arguably of all time. But if you go back and watch that team 2 months ago, and then you watch with him now and the few players that they've added, it's night and day. This is everybody talking about where they're at the table.
Everybody.
Everything is elevated. They're playing so well. The soccer acumen is just up. That's a team you don't want to face. When they make the playoffs, it's going to happen. That is a team you do not want to face. And by the way the table looks, could be Foxborough.
Could be
a little Gillette Stadium, Tommy. Could be a little messy action in the first.
Better get the brownies ready in the press box for me. Little inside joke.
She's not there anymore.
I know, great.
She's not there anymore.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Tom, little Messi action.
Come on, man.
Little Messi first round.
Listen, it all depends. Like they have.
You're not bought in.
Not that I'm not bought in.
You're just looking at the fatigue standpoint.
I'm looking at the fatigue standpoint.
These are professionals. They're professionals.
It's a lot. They have a lot of
Yeah.
games to play in the next couple of months. He's on the road a lot. He's in Atlanta. He's got to go to Charlotte. He's got to go to LA.
He was in Maluma's music
second
video.
Assist.
But
The first one was great. The second
ridiculous.
assist. Oh,
But Messi's doing the things
Here's their schedule.
he never did in Spain. He never did in France. He's in Maluma's new music video.
Yeah, but here's he has to be sitting up games coming up here. He has to. They're playing tomorrow in Red Bull Arena in Harrison.
Yeah.
Then they're home on Wednesday.
That's gonna be
that might be
against Nashville.
That might be an off day.
Then they're
Nashville.
on
I
the
know.
road on Sunday in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's got to do New York and L.A. The Nashville game might take a hit. Imagine that though. You pay all that money. It's tough. But I don't always agree with the fatigue factor. But
I mean,
this
that
is
schedule right there.
this is. I'm with you.
What a
because
story, though.
All of this leading up to it. Now the Leagues Cup, the Open Cup, and now 3 games in 8 days or whatever. That is a lot.
The guy that I actually think everybody should pay attention to, Sergio Busquets.
Oh, Messi goes because he goes.
The way he's been able to control games
To an extent.
I'm with you.
To an extent.
Yeah, but you think you watch the way he distributes the ball out of the back and how much time he has and just how patient he is.
So
and
good.
He's very smooth.
And him and Messi are just like.
And then what he does, like you use that word elevated, it's true. Just like Messi, everyone's elevated, and then everyone doesn't. How do I say this?
Everyone plays up.
Plays up,
Joseph
but then
Martinez is on fire right now. Guys,
but he makes
Campania,
makes them better. That's my point. They're elevated because they're professionals, but his decisions, the way the different things that he's doing opposed to who was in there before, makes them better.
And talk about parlay killers, Tommy. How about Joseph Martinez taking a penalty kick?
Ooh,
that was tough because it was like if you had Messi to score. What was game? Was that 2 games ago? Maybe.
Was that the Charlotte game?
When you had Messi to score 2 goals, or somebody had Messi to score 2 goals, and he scored one,
that was me.
you would think a PK is an easy second goal, and then Joseph steps up and takes it instead.
But he wanted him to.
He wanted him
that's
to.
What a good leader does.
Team player.
He said, "Step up."
And he gave. Did you see the video where he gave? Was it Martinez or Yedlin? I think it was Yedlin. He gave Yedlin the armband.
Yep.
So he would be able to
he's doing all the
Messi
right things, man.
Loves being.
He's
here.
the best.
He's
Like
having
he's the
the time
best.
of his
He's
life.
the time of his life.
Like it's amazing to see just.
But we're being rewarded too. He's playing so well, guys.
But yes, he is absolutely.
Yes.
You're 100% correct. But what I love is that just he seems to just be loving this.
How could you not?
Because he's never done this in his career. He has never been able to wake up and smell the roses and smell the coffee because he has always been so determined. When he won that World Cup, I think his decision was absolutely made because he said, listen, I got nothing else to prove. All these years, they said I couldn't win a major tournament. They won Copa America. He said I couldn't win the World Cup. He won the World Cup. Don't even talk about all the Barcelona success. Don't talk about the Ballon d'Ors. He's got it all. So what is he doing now? He's living this celebrity life, to an extent. He gets to play in Miami. His family is happy. He's winning games. He's scoring goals. He's in music videos. He's chilling. He's at Publix getting, a buff chick tendy grinder.
Loading up on American
A
cereal.
lot of
Loading
cereal.
On,
Way more
Captain
than I thought.
Crunch and whatever else.
No free ads.
Why
Looks like
wouldn't
an
he like
Apple Jacks
this?
guy.
And he's invested in 100 different things that he's going to continue to profit on here in the
Well,
States.
and if you look at the greats of the past, this is an avenue that they went down. That this might be the most successful one, though. He could have
you don't
that on
think
the resume.
Beckham's in his ear.
Yeah,
you don't think,
sure.
So he's having the time of his life, and we're benefiting from it. And
It's
so
been
so
awesome.
are these networks because the numbers have been ridiculous.
Stupid.
Woo.
It's stupid. It's but this is everything.
Was it
you
ESPN Plus? So that game the other day or whatever network.
I thought.
What-
Was it Paramount?
Whatever, the U.S. Open Cup game, I think.
I think it was Paramount.
broke like their streaming record.
And it's going to get bigger. It's just going to get bigger. And when they go on a run, think of those numbers for Apple.
It's quite a story.
All right. Then we got to finish here. Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, I wish we had more to say about it.
We're in the same spot that we were.
I will say it's getting worse. If it's feeling worse
Do
and
you
worse.
agree with the Boston Globe? Yes, it does feel like it's getting worse and worse. Do you agree with the Boston Globe article that the lack of transparency from the league is unacceptable?
Well, I would say not necessarily because we still don't know the severity of
also
what
an
it
I'm
is.
surprised the Globe would go and say those things then.
That's a different story, maybe, because again, they know as much as we do. So
I'm trying to remember how they handled the Berhalter stuff because that was an investigation too.
It was all out there though.
Was
We
it?
knew within-
Yeah.
we knew
Well,
within,
we
like, a
knew
week
about
or
it
two.
because of the Rainas.
Yeah.
But if let's say U.S. Soccer came out and said Greg Berhalter is on a leave of absence, administrative leave.
But the players knew that there were problems there. The thing that's crazy is that
But there was things that were publicly said.
yeah.
But this whatever this involvement is that Bruce has got himself wrapped in right now, allegedly, we don't know anything. So
Yeah.
who would be speak up?
And I'll let you go. This is again all we're still all opinion. We don't know anything more than we did before. But the longer this goes on, to me, this seems like it is something severe. Because if it, not to say that you don't want to rank severity, but if it is something on the lower end, maybe there's more of a swifter decision. Maybe he's back, or maybe he's gone after a couple weeks. Again, we're going into almost a month of this now, where it's tight-lipped. There's nothing going on. To me, Tom. Again, pure opinion, it seems like it's probably something pretty substantial.
Proskauer Rose is the law firm handling this investigation. They're an outside law firm that's coming in to oversee everything that's going on here. What do you think revenue-wise they brought in 2021?
The Revolution?
No, he's talking about the law
Oh,
firm.
the law firm? God, I don't even know.
I
where to
wouldn't
begin.
know, have any idea.
$15.
$15?
Yeah,
I'll go.
$15.
Well, Price is Right rules. I'll go $16.
All right,
$16?
Yeah.
Steve,
Steve,
how much money do you
from
think
the
they brought in
rafters.
2021? Proskauer Rose. They're a law firm.
I didn't
out
know
of
you were
New
going to
York
say
City.
Steve. I would have taken a different. I didn't know
Steve.
he was
Yeah,
playing.
Yeah, we get a third option
Yeah,
here.
I thought I was going to go. I thought
$16.
$16.
Steve
Okay.
going $20.
$20.
All right.
$1.1 billion.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a decent amount.
that's about
Decent
right.
chunk. Way off. Damn it.
Steve wins.
From the
I know,
Raptors.
that's
yeah.
why I would have played that game differently.
You get to control the cameras.
Yeah.
They are, again, well known for handling legal cases or they're well known for some of their alumni include David Stern and Gary Bettman, who have obviously been commissioners of the NHL and the NBA. 2019, Proskauer Rose represented the Big East Conference as it readmitted UConn back into the Big East. Scrolly.
So they're a big deal.
Big
I'd say.
deal, yeah.
They got some.
They represented Silverstein Properties, who are the owners of the World Trade Center Towers in New York.
Wow. Okay, so they're a big deal. So what you're saying is the investigation is being taken very seriously, and we still have absolutely zero information. on it.
And that's why it's tough because again, you don't know the parameters of it. There could be victims involved here. There might not be. So it's difficult still to say.
Well, and there was also
But the overall point, Tom, again, is the longer this has gone on long enough where it's something substantial. It
sure.
has to be.
I get my thing is that the
The longer
information
this
that I
goes on.
learned from the Globe piece was, seeing that players were interviewed. Now, what players were interviewed? Because it doesn't seem like any of the Revolution players were interviewed, because all of them are in the dark.
Mm.
So, was it outside from when it came here? Like, there's...
We're going around again because
I know. But that was the interesting little nugget from the Tara Sullivan piece that I don't think many people are picking up on, is that there were players interviewed. What players? And was it current players here in New England? So.
Is that a fact, or is that just?
Did you read the article?
Well, paywall.
Yeah, I'm not paying for any articles. I want you to screenshot
Do you
them
think
and send them to me.
Do you think I would come on here and say that about Tara Sullivan, who works for the Boston Globe, and not have any idea?
No.
Okay. I'm not saying no. I wasn't saying that.
You said
I was talking about from her, not from your vantage point, from
Yeah.
hers. Like, was that reported?
Do you think she would say that?
I don't
without-
know. I have no idea.
mean, there are some blogs on Revs Twitter that you go, huh? I don't think the Boston
that,
Globe.
yeah. Beef.
Wow, you want to name them?
No. Don't name names.
No.
Just let them
Okay,
wonder.
no,
Is it me?
Let's get back to what's
We
at
already
hand.
hurt- we
Let's
already
get
hurt
back
some
to what's
feelings.
at
I
hand.
don't
Pretty
wanna hurt
obvious,
anybody's
anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt feelings anymore, please.
Oh, and did you guys see that the Revs made national news? Something I talked about with Herc, with the ticket rep, going back to the Messi thing. The Revs ticket rep that was saying, hey, come watch Messi score at Gillette.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good. But, we don't want to talk about other people's jobs. They made a little mistake, a little error. And I'm pretty sure they put it Nashville FC instead of SC.
Yeah.
I think that was a thing, too. It's been a fun, interesting summer.
It's not like we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on, and I think the week off for us allowed more things to kind of happen. Unfortunately, not enough with the Bruce situation, because I don't like to speculate, especially in serious matters like that, too. We could sit here and do the runaround over and over again, but until we get more information, I don't think it's right to really speculate on it. If you want to do it in your own inner circles, that's fine. But this is a team that I think
the stories are forming behind the scenes. Nobody's got anything concrete, but there are stories forming behind the scenes.
Well, they're doing a really great job. The staff and the players are doing a very good job if they know anything, by saying that they don't, because nobody has said a word. And
no, I truly believe them when they say they don't.
No, I know,
anything.
I do
Yeah.
too. But I'm saying, if you're one of the conspiracy theorists that think that they're just keeping it from us, then
Hashtag Revs Deep State.
Whatever. Whatever, man.
Is that a thing?
Is that a new hashtag? Is that like the 4chan of hashtag any Revs?
I popped Steve again today, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to get in here today?
I think that it's been. Don't give up hope. Okay, the season.
Even though Tom has.
This season is not punted.
Even though Tom thinks it is.
Goalie joke again.
Yep.
And punt.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Tell your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to continue to try to improve our production here. We got Steve in the building now. He's live audience, so you get to hear some laughs too, which is good. And so tell your friends, spread the word, subscribe. We got content coming for you guys every week.
Revs CF Montreal tomorrow night. Free on Apple, by the way. It's a free night
free
on
game.
Apple.
Bang.
Yes.
Catch up with our Apple friends next week.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Bye.